When I pushed open the door, my heart nearly stopped. My living room was gone. The walls were torn down, furniture missing, and my sister stood there with contractors, barking orders like she owned the place. "Tear this down too," she said, pointing at the kitchen wall I'd saved money for years to build. And when she turned and saw me, she didn't even flinch. She smirked. "Oh, Paige, you're early. Don't worry, I'm fixing your house to make it livable." My fists clenched. This wasn't her house. This was mine, my only safe space. If this already shocked you, just imagine what happens next. Make sure to hit subscribe and share this video because you won't believe the twist waiting at the end. I couldn't even breathe properly as I looked around. Everything I'd worked for was being ripped apart without my permission. My sister Amber crossed her arms and said, "You should be thanking me. You clearly don't know how to live properly. I'm turning this into something modern." The contractors laughed, like I was some clueless outsider in my own home. My voice shook. "Amber, you had no right." "This is my house." She rolled her eyes. "Paige, relax. Once it's done, you'll realize I did you a favor." But there was something else. A pile of documents on the dining table spread wide open. Blueprints, bank statements, even property papers with my name scratched out and hers written in pencil. My heart dropped. What was she planning? Before I could grab them, Amber blocked me. Her smirk widened. "Oh, Paige, you really think you can stop me? You've always been the weak one in the family. This house will finally belong to someone who deserves it." I stood frozen, rage boiling inside me, because little did she know. I had already set a trap months ago, one that could destroy her entire plan. Amber's words echoed in my head, stabbing deeper than the dust-filled air around me. She wasn't just renovating, she was erasing me. I stared at the blueprint on the table, the part where my name was crossed out, and something inside me cracked. Amber leaned closer, whispering so the contractors couldn't hear. "You've always been too soft, Paige. That's why Mom and Dad never trusted you with anything big. This house should have been mine from the start." Her voice dripped with venom, and then she chuckled as if my life was just a bad joke. I wanted to scream, to shove every single worker out of my home, but something stopped me, the smirk on Amber's face. She wanted me to lose control. Instead, I forced a calm smile, the kind that made her tilt her head in confusion. "You think you're in control, don't you?" I whispered back. Her smirk faltered for a second, but she quickly snapped, "Oh, please, Paige, you barely keep your job. I'm the one with real plans. This house will be the family's pride, not your shabby little hideout." The contractors chuckled again, treating me like I was invisible. But little did they know, while Amber was tearing down walls, I had been building something bigger in silence. For years, every extra dollar from late-night shifts and business trips went into something she didn't even know existed. Amber suddenly grabbed the papers from the table and waved them at me. "See these? I've already spoken to the city inspector. Soon the paperwork will be official. You won't own a single brick here." She tossed the folder down like a card trick, confident she'd won. My stomach twisted, but I didn't show it. I simply picked up one sheet, glanced at it, and chuckled, a laugh so sharp that even the workers froze. Amber frowned. "What's so funny?" I stepped closer, lowering my voice. "You really think I'd leave my house unprotected while I traveled? You think I didn't prepare for snakes like you?" Her face drained of color for a split second, and that was the reaction I had been waiting for. Because hidden in my bag was the one thing Amber never imagined existed, the proof that everything she'd been planning would turn back on her in the worst possible way. And the moment I pulled it out, her entire fake confidence began to crack. Amber's smirk had vanished the moment I pulled out the leather folder from my bag. Her eyes locked on it like it was a weapon, and to me it was. I laid it on the dining table, brushing dust aside, and slowly opened it. Inside were notarized documents, legal letters, and one thick envelope with the city's seal. Amber's breath hitched. "What is that?" she demanded, trying to sound firm, but her voice cracked. I leaned back casually, letting her stew in her own panic. "This," I said, tapping the envelope, "is proof that this house isn't just any property. It's protected land, registered under federal preservation. You can tear down walls, but every single change you made is already illegal. The contractors froze mid-hammer, their laughter gone. One of them muttered nervously, "Wait, illegal?" Amber snapped at them. "Don't listen to her! She's bluffing!" But I could see her hands trembling. She knew I wasn't bluffing. I slid another paper across the table. "See the stamp? That's the preservation order. I filed it last year. Every nail you've driven into these walls is a violation. And guess who will be held responsible? Not me, you." Amber's face flushed red. She tried to snatch the paper, but I pulled it back and locked eyes with her. "For years you mocked me for being quiet, for working too much, for staying in the background. But while you were busy tearing people down, I was building my future. And now, every move you make is walking straight into my trap." The contractors exchanged nervous glances, quietly stepping back toward the door. One of them whispered, "We're not getting involved in this." Within seconds, hammers hit the floor and boots shuffled out of my home, leaving Amber alone in her fake glory. "Paige, you don't understand," Amber stammered, her confidence unraveling. "I was just trying to help make it better." I cut her off with a cold laugh. "Help? By crossing my name off the deed? By stealing what's mine? No, Amber, this isn't about helping. This is about control. You've always hated that I worked in silence, that I didn't need to flaunt every dollar I earned. And now you're angry because you realize I've been 5 steps ahead of you this whole time." Her lips trembled. "You can't ruin me like this. The family will never believe you." I leaned closer, whispering in her ear. "Oh, they won't just believe me. They'll watch it unfold in front of them. Because I invited them here tonight." Amber's eyes widened in horror, and before she could speak, the sound of car doors slamming outside filled the air. The front door creaked open, and voices filled the hallway, loud, cheerful, and unsuspecting. My parents, a few cousins, even Amber's closest friends streamed inside, chattering about the big reveal. They thought they were coming to celebrate Amber's renovation project. Little did they know, they were about to witness her downfall. Amber's smile snapped back into place like a mask. She rushed forward, greeting everyone with fake confidence. Come in, come in! You're just in time to see the transformation." She spread her arms wide, ignoring the half-demolished walls and scattered tools. My mother frowned, looking around. "Amber, what on earth? This doesn't look finished at all." Amber laughed nervously. "It's still in progress, but you'll see, it's going to be stunning. I'm making Paige's old shack into something modern, something worthy of our family." The word shack stung, but I held my tongue. This wasn't the moment to speak. This was the moment to let her dig her own grave. My cousin Mark leaned on the broken doorway, smirking. "So you're really taking over Paige's place?" "About time someone did. She was never good at managing anything." The group chuckled, their laughter echoing off the gutted walls. Amber puffed her chest, nodding proudly. "Exactly. Paige doesn't have the vision. But me? I know how to create something valuable." I stepped forward then, calm and steady, my folder still in hand. The room fell quiet as I laid the official documents on the table for everyone to see. "Interesting," I said, my voice sharp enough to cut through their chatter. "Because from where I'm standing, all I see is a pile of illegal construction." The laughter stopped. Eyes turned. My father's brow furrowed. "Illegal? Paige, what are you talking about?" Amber's smile cracked. "She's lying!" "She's just jealous." I slid the papers across the table, letting my relatives see the stamps and signatures. "This house isn't just mine, it's protected federal property. Any changes made without authorization are violations. And guess who authorized all of this?" My gaze locked on Amber. "No one." Gasps spread around the room. My mother clasped her hands over her mouth. "Amber, tell me this isn't true." Amber's face drained of color, but she still tried to spin it. "Mom, Dad, listen, Paige doesn't understand. I was doing this for us, for the family's reputation." But Mark shook his head, scanning the documents. "Amber, these look real. If she's right, you could be in serious legal trouble." Amber turned to me, desperation replacing arrogance. "Paige, please. Don't do this to me. You wouldn't ruin your own sister in front of everyone." I met her eyes, steady and cold. You already ruined yourself the moment you tried to steal what was mine. The room buzzed with whispers, tension thick in the air. My father finally spoke, his voice heavy with disappointment. Amber, you've shamed this family. And just when the silence hit its peak, I smiled slightly. But this is only the beginning. You all laughed at me, mocked me, called me weak. Tonight you'll learn exactly who I am, and why none of you will ever look down on me again. The crowd exchanged stunned glances. Amber trembled, tears welling in her eyes. She thought the humiliation was over. But the real twist, the one that would break her completely, was still waiting. The silence was suffocating, every eye pinned on me, waiting for the next move. Amber's fake tears were rolling, but I knew it was all an act. She wanted sympathy, wanted the family to turn against me like they always had. But this time, I wasn't the weak Paige they remembered. I had been preparing for this moment for years. I reached into my bag once more and pulled out a second folder, thicker than the first. I laid it on the dining table, flipping it open so everyone could see. Inside were glossy photos of a tech office buzzing with employees, sleek buildings with my company's name on them, and bank statements that made jaws drop. This, I said firmly, is what I've been building while you all mocked me. Late nights, long business trips, endless hours. I didn't waste my time chasing validation. I built a company that now provides jobs to over 200 people. The same company the city just awarded a $12 million contract to. Gasps echoed through the room. My father's mouth hung open. My mother clutched her chest. My cousins leaned in, wide-eyed, as if they couldn't believe the quiet, invisible Paige had been living a double life of success. Amber shook her head violently, her face pale. No, this can't be true. You're lying! You can't possibly— I cut her off with a cold, sharp laugh. Lying? Then maybe you should ask Mark. He interviewed at my company last month. All heads turned to Mark, who stiffened, his face turning crimson. He stammered, I didn't realize it was your company. His voice trailed off as whispers rippled through the room. Amber's knees buckled, and she grabbed a chair for support. This isn't fair. It should have been me. I deserved all of this, she screamed, her mask shattering. I stepped closer, my voice calm but powerful. You don't deserve anything you try to steal. You mocked me for being quiet, for working in the shadows. But it was that silence that gave me strength. And now, Amber, in front of everyone you tried to impress, you stand exposed. Not as the strong sister, but as the desperate thief who lost everything. The room went dead silent. Even my parents, who had always favored her, couldn't defend her now. My father shook his head in disgust. Amber, I can't even look at you. Paige, we had no idea. We misjudged you. For the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel invisible. I felt powerful. Amber collapsed into the chair, sobbing, muttering, It should have been mine. It should have been mine. But no one comforted her. Not this time. I gathered my folders, straightened my shoulders, and walked toward the door. Just before leaving, I turned back to the stunned faces and said, Never mistake silence for weakness. Some of us build empires while the rest of you are too busy tearing others down. The weight of those words hung in the air as I walked out, leaving Amber broken, the family speechless, and my dignity intact. And that night, for the first time ever, I didn't feel like the underdog. I felt like the victor.